Good morning. A sunny, bright morning to you. This is Life's Dream number 101. What I did on my winter vaccination. And this is Corky Siegel.
Okay, enough of that. She got in trouble trying to help a friend. Her good intentions brought her plans to an end. Like going to the country, like living in the country, like breathing that country air. My heart was made of concrete and clay. Chicago got me down, and I just had to get away. But now I'm coming back, Chicago, to your smoke and your dust. You're a noisy city and your police play a little rough. There ain't much nature there and the weather ain't too fine, but I just got to get back to that lady of mine. She makes me feel so good. In the middle of the rain, it may be wet, but I won't complain. She makes me feel so good. Laying in my hammock in the willow trees, eucalyptus flowing in the cool night breeze. There's just one thing I don't need to explain. Without that sweet loving woman, I just can't remain. She makes me feel so good. In the middle of the rain, it may be wet, but I won't complain. She makes me feel so good. There's just one thing I don't need to explain. Without that sweet loving woman, I just can't remain. She makes me feel so good. In the middle of the rain, it may be wet, but I won't complain. She makes me feel so good. I'll live on Belmont till she's off her parole. Then we'll pack our bags and head out for Renault. With my special lady and those blue skies above, I'll live out my life with the two things I love. She makes me feel so good. In the middle of the rain, it may be wet, but I won't complain. She makes me feel so good. Story time. How I spent my winter vaccination. Live stream number 101. Woo, 101. The subtitle is Corky Video, or COVID number 101. Dear cousins, when Holly and I hear of something as simple as a lover's breakup, it creates pain in our own hearts. We call it the terrible ick. And a single loss in permanence is inconceivable. Trying to understand the meaning of 500,000 unnecessary losses all in 1 year, when I can hardly grasp the pain created around one, is hopeless. But I know somebody's trying to get my attention. The slap in the face is a reminder that the sanctity of human life must be kept on the front burners while we keep our home fires lit with the flames of kindness, compassion, and truth-seeking, and also the healing ointment of love and laughter. If there is nothing any one of us can do, at least we can advertise our love of humanity and display the flag of freedom across our face by wearing the mask. So this is called What I Did on My Winter Vaccination. Live stream number 101. There's a million stories in the vacant city. This one is mine. I'm excessively cautious. Life is so precious and so delicate. It was a normal day. I was driving in a normal way. I was doing the normal rolling stop. I almost ran over an innocent fellow. I didn't see him walking. He jumped out of the way. He wasn't a cop. I said to myself, said I, you are just going to have to be more careful by the by. Complete stop. Look left. Look right. Look left and right again. And proceed then, and only then, my friend. And by the way, Korkenspiel, if you are rolling, it's not a stop. Rolling is not stopping. With each incident that exposes the fragility of life, I get more cautious. The damn pandemic is no exception. And that's why even early on, my bar was so high. It was up high in the sky. It was up high in the sky. It was out of reach. It was up high in the sky. Up high in the sky. Up high in the sky. I just had to get through that. I actually almost wore a mask while filming this. But basically, before I begin the story, I just wanted to express that I'm a cautious person. And I wanted to explain why. So going to the hospital for a vaccine doesn't feel completely safe. With too many people wearing masks, like chin straps. And too many people, by the way, is two or less in this case. As you know, when Holly and I are taking our walk and we see someone a half a block away, we immediately cross the street and yell from the safety of the Grand Canyon, "Nothing personal." I was experiencing a toothache beginning a couple months ago, and it was getting quite intense in the last couple weeks. I hadn't been to the dentist for maybe 16 months, and I needed work back then. Lights. There they are. Did that help? Okay. So it was a long time since I've been to the dentist, and I have a whole stack of "I miss you" postcards from the dentist. But the dentist wasn't taking patients unless there was a real emergency because of the heightened danger of COVID. On his website were images of what was a real emergency. No, thank you. I prefer images of the cute little smiley tooth cartoon. Being 77 and a cancer survivor, I had to balance the risks of letting the whole toothache and nothing but the toothache go it alone for a while, or getting it taken care of and exposing myself to the risk of COVID and spreading it to others. Not a chance of that. I had visions of my maskless mouth wide open for a couple hours in the dentist chair. And based on one of my last visits with my dentist, I wasn't looking forward to it.
Come on, Corky, you can handle it. Get me that back. Give me that thing.
You know, trying to get people to go to Corky's concerts is like pulling teeth.
The fact that it was difficult to play the harmonica with a toothache was another factor of concern, and being raised as a hypochondriac played some role in the acquisition of excess stress. And knowing that stress is gratuitous, that it's the greatest joke played on us by the universe, that it never helps in any way, and in fact it creates delusion and danger, having all that understanding and knowledge about stress just made me stress out even more.
Okay, so you've got to, I just had to film this. You've got to see this. It's just...
I've shoveled 6 times.
It's
My neighbor
insane.
shoveled twice, and the street guy across the street came over here and shoveled twice.
But look at the way it's...
And it's still like it's never been shoveled.
It's blowing, and it's just... It's going crazy. So
what happened today? I was at the computer trying to get Holly an appointment for her vaccination because they said she could get one at Northwestern. But every time one thing showed up, I would click on it and it disappeared. So I sat at the computer for an hour, just constantly going over and over and over, redoing it, so that like twice a minute, I'd be able to see if there was a schedule. Finally, I got her a schedule for tomorrow. Now, because I have one on Friday, I had already made sure the car started and everything was fine. So we decided we were going to make sure we can dig it out. And I couldn't start the car. It was completely dead. Not only was it dead, the headlights came on and we couldn't turn them off. We finally figured out how to turn them off. And then it started making this noise. The battery was completely dead, but it was going like the car was trying to start.
It was possessed.
It was horrible. And then it started clicking and we couldn't stop it. And we called a tow truck and the tow truck had to cancel. And so we called another one and they were going to come tonight. They can't come tonight, so they're going to try in the morning. So in the meantime, all this stuff is going on. And Louise Frank said she would take Holly to the hospital. I mean, I would yell at Louise for even being anywhere near another person. And now we asked her to help. I mean, this is like crazy. And I don't know what's my second vaccine is on Friday. I don't know that.
Well, hopefully by Friday, but
It's
we
gonna
may have to
happen.
call our friend Gary Sherman, who filmed Poltergeist, and see if he has any
Ideas for us?
ideas for us.
So the saga of the tow trucks continues, not showing up and then canceling, and it continued to snow. And during our noon Zoom, Tuesday the 16th of February, after the live stream, we had to help the neighbors shovel the snow in our back parking lot. And we also had to make sure our car was ready for the tow truck when it arrived this time at 1 o'clock. So from noon till 1 during our Zoom, Holly and I had to take turns running out in the back and shoveling for about 10 minutes, each of us, back and forth. When I first went out, there was my next door neighbor, coincidentally my ex-wife. When I went out to the back, I was the first one to go. What do I see? But Holly's wife-in-law, as she calls her, and my ex-wife, who coincidentally lives next door, cleaning off my car. And all the neighbors, instead of cleaning off their cars and taking care of their spaces, are clearing my space. Well, I just got cut off with a phone call. Went ahead and had dinner. And Holly went to bed. Okay, so anyway, I had already canceled Holly's noon appointment. I changed it to February 28th in Lake Forest. The tow truck didn't show up at all at 1 p.m., not at 2, not at 3, not at 4, not at 5. And then they called and canceled. Well, that was nice that they called. I had an idea. What if I just got the battery jumped, just like the old days? Even if there is a problem with the electrical system, as the car dealer thought, maybe I could get some mileage off the battery. That night I called a different company to jump. They came out in 20 minutes. They started the car and we drove around for a half hour to make sure the battery was charged. I came back home. Next morning we started the car again and drove around for about 40 minutes. I read that this is what you are supposed to do. I then called the dealership to see if it might be okay if I just could keep the car for a couple of weeks running it like this. I don't know anything about batteries and alternators. While I was on the phone with the dealership and giving them the battery readings I got off of my dashboard, I was clicking on the computer at the same time every 10 seconds, submitting to see if I could miraculously reschedule the appointment for Holly from Lake Forest to hopefully Northwestern Hospital, downtown. With a bad battery or bad alternator, even if you can drive some, you shouldn't drive long distances. The battery might get drained and you are stuck out there in Lake Forest. After a good 40 minutes of clicking away every 10 seconds, I was able to nab tomorrow, Thursday, February 18th at Northwestern. Yay! And at the same time, I got this voicemail. Hello, calling from Northwestern Hospital. And this message is for Holly Siegel. Holly, you were on the wait list for the COVID vaccine, and I was calling to offer you a scheduled appointment for tomorrow, Thursday, February 18th, at exactly the same time. And then they said, please contact the COVID hotline. Appointments are based on first call, first serve basis, and they are going very, very quickly. So I was on hold with the car dealer while I was doing all this. He hopped back on the phone. He said, according to the readings, your alternator and battery are in perfect shape. So the next day I took Holly for her first vaccine. The next day she took me for my second. No side effects. I couldn't even tell which arm I got the shot in. And Holly is going to get her second on March 11th. And that's our story. Okay, so that was story time. So we lost Holly to the kitchen. She's making dinner, and listening to the news. So we'll say goodbye from here. Okay, be sure to Zoom, corkymusic.com/stream. Bye-bye, everyone.